Hello everybody, welcome to a new YouTube video. In this video, I'm showing off, I'm doing a tier list of every quirk in the game. So it goes from D tier to C tier, to B tier, then to A tier, then S tier. It goes from lowest tier to the highest tier. So the worst quirks will go into D tier, and the best quirks will go into an S tier. So I'm going to be starting off with D tier. So the first one in the lowest tier is Zero Gravity. Its only use is, it can make you move fast, kind of, and you can jump, and that's pretty much all it is. Then the next one is Tail. It's just a tail. Then Air Propulsion. It may seem cool, it's good in the anime, but it only has 3 attacks, and they aren't that good. They do have a little bit of decent range, but it takes forever to go, like, do any attack range. And then there's a Black Hole. It could pull players towards you and it stuns them. Also has a fang that, like, I don't know, it's weird. It's kind of bad, but it's pretty much just annoying to fight. And then Acid. I'm just not even gonna say anything on it. You just understand by its name. It sounds cool, but it's really not. And then Voice. Like the voice quirk. It does seem good. It's good for your first 200 levels. But past that, you'll likely never use it again. So it's kind of garbage. And that's all of D tier. On to C tier. So here is C tier. First one in C tier is Warp Gate. The only reason it's not in D tier is because you could use it to glitch through walls and go places you shouldn't. Also, it's good for leveling up in, like, when you just start out, so, yeah. Like, the only reason it's not D tier is because, well, yeah, you could go to places you shouldn't. Like, you could glitch into the PvP lobby. But, pretty much the only good part about it is that it's a weaker version of Permeation. Then the next one is Pop Off. You can throw these fangs at fangs, and you bounce off them, and other fangs stick to them. It sounds good, but they only last for, like, 2 seconds. But the only reason it's not D tier is because one of its skills is where it, like, swings fangs back and forth like this. And then it, like, does decent damage. It does the same damage as an E attack. And it attacks, like, 50 times in a second. So I guess it's kind of good. That's why it's not D tier. Then the next one is Sumbulus, or the thing that has people fall asleep. It pretty much just has people fall asleep, and that's all there is. And then Engine. Engine does not have any good attacking fangs. It's bad for PvP and pretty much everything. But when they added the gears update, like where they added a bunch of gear and equipment, they added something that increases how fast you can go with it. So you can go extremely fast. Because I actually made a video on it. Y'all should go check it out, because it's quite good. And then there's Permeation. It's pretty much just Warp Gate, but better. You could go through every single wall. If you jump up high enough and land on the ground, you'll go through the ground. Also, you could just walk to, like, a wall and go through it. And you know how, like, all the maps have an invisible boundary around them? Yeah, you can use Permeation to go through that. So, yeah, it's very cool. Also has this thing where you can, like, appear over the air instantaneously. And it also has a skill that makes you unable to take damage for a little bit of time. So, yeah, it's quite good. Oh, flip. My phone that has a picture of the list I made turned off. Okay. Because I did make this all on a list. Because there's no way I'd memorize them. Then the next one is Naval Lasers. It's pretty much a laser that could go over your stomach. Normally I would say it's garbage, but it has a combo thing that does a lot of damage. I don't know how much because I haven't tested it out. Apparently it does more damage, like the combo of it, does more damage than Overhaul's V skill. As you can tell, I made a video on that too, so go check it out. And yeah. Okay, and the next one is Giant. It pretty much has no attacks to actually attack things. If you get large enough, you can make it to where things can't damage you, so it's kind of good. But the main thing is, it makes your person large. So let's say you were to become a tank, like I'm about to do. And as you can see, I am now a tank. Because so if you have the giant quirk, you could just become a large tank. And I mean a large tank, because I was. Also, fun fact, the ghostly armor actually has higher damage reduction than the than the Easter armor. So then the next quirk is hardening. It's pretty much just shock absorption, but like weaker. But it does increase your attack, but like not much, only of its skills. And it does have it gear, but it only increases like some of its attacks. See? And then Jet. Jet's the last one of Tier C. And Jet, it recently got revamped, so it's kind of cool. You could fly around infinitely and bounce off things, all cool and stuff. And it does have some annoying skills to PvP, and it could be unkillable in PvP, but you can also attack people, so it's annoying. And that's all for C tier. Now on to B tier, where they get slightly good. The first one for B tier is clones. It could be kind of decent for PvP, just place a bunch of them and lock onto the player, and then you could just spam place them, so like, they'll all automatically attack the player until the player dies, so it could also be good for like killing bosses that you're too low level for, so it's kinda decent. And then there's electricity. It also got recently revamped, so it looks cool as Flip, and it could stun things a lot. But it's not really that good for PvP or raids, or pretty much anything, so it's kind of meh. And then there's the flame one. And I forget its name, but it's like, you know, the one that shoots out fire. Yeah, that one. I have no idea how I forgot its name. I'm pretty sure it's just flame or something. So yeah. It's a quirk that I rarely ever see getting used. It's kind of meh. It also got revamped. So, yeah, it does have its own gear thing that increases its damage some. But also you could fly with it, so yeah, it's kind of meh. And then quirkless. The reason it's not not D tier is because you use it to get Deku 1 for all. And yeah. But otherwise, you literally can't do anything else with it. And then there's Frog. It makes it look like a demon, because, like, you walk on all fours all creepy, and you could smack people with your tongue with it. Also, you could turn invisible, I'm not sure why. But, yeah, it's kind of weird. And then Creation. It's kind of good, because you could, like, make cannons that shoot at things. Also, you could get a shield and a sword. So it's kind of cool. But it's awesome. And then Dark Shadow. It is kind of powerful. Yeah. You could use it to, like, run around. I'm pretty sure it gives you a speed boost, I think. And it increases your defense and durability and stuff. I just said it increases your defense twice in 2 different ways. By accident. Wow. But yeah, it's quite good. Also, it has its own gear. Then the next one is Cremation. The blue fire stuff. It's kind of good for PvP and stuff, because it has this tornado thing where it launches a thing up high in the air. So yeah, it's kind of good. Also has a thing where you could shoot fire in any direction. But there's one skill about it that I kind of don't like. It's where you jump up and dive down into the ground and explode. It launches you. It's quite annoying to use. And then there's Decay. It's better than Quirkless because you can actually use it, but it's also used to get Tomaru all for one. So it's quite good. Also, it's pretty much just Tomaru all for one, but less good. Then the last one for B tier is Fierce Wings. I know Fierce Wings is a legendary one, and you could fly, but flying uses up all your stamina very quickly, and its attacks are kind of bad, and it doesn't have that high damage per second, so it's kind of meh. And that's all of B tier. Now on to A tier. The first one for A tier is Muscle Augmentation. It has a thing that covers yourself in muscles that increases your durability and your attack, and also gives you a speed boost, where you automatically sprint, kind of like Deku 1 for all. Also, it has some attacks, so it's kind of like it's like hardening, but better in every single way. So yeah. And then there's Orcanus. It's the newest quirk in the game. people get confused whether it's good or bad. So a lot of people say it's garbage, and a lot of people say it's overpowered. But the reason why it's overpowered is because all its attacks do stun. So that means it's very good for PvP. Any quirk that has stun attacks that unfreeze the player that they attack is overpowered as flip. And then there's all for one. Yeah, it's just all for one. There's a fang that you can use to attack people to it latches onto anything near you. And as a teleporting fang, and a fang that reverses all damage taken, will half the damage taken back to fangs. So, yeah. And then one for all. It's pretty much Deku one for all, but weaker. It has an attack that does high damage, but yeah, also it can make your character larger. And then explosion. You could shoot explodey fangs. It has a fang where you could jump up in the air and then nuke down at the ground. So it's quite fun to use. Also, you could fly with it you can't double jump, but when you double jump, it flies around, so it's quite cool. And then there's Overhaul. Overhaul is one of the most damaging quirks in the game. Also, it has 2 healing things, but they're kind of meh. Because it has it's V skill to like a thing, but you have to literally be standing next to something. I got to do 438,000 damage. And yes, I did make a video on it, because why not? And then there's Shock Absorption, one of the most overpowered quirks in the game. It reduces damage taken by 3.5 times. So you take 3.5 times less damage. Also, its skill, it does more damage the lower your health, and also more damage the higher your durability. So if you got it while being max level and put all your stats into durability, you'd be unkillable. But there is something slightly better in it. But of course, yes, I did make videos on both of those. And the next one is Deku One for All. You may be asking why it's not S tier. Because without having its F skill activated, you can't even use half of its skills because if you use half of its skills, it'll make it where you can't move at all. So it's quite dumb. Also, its attacks take forever to hit their target, and they're easy to dodge. But it does give you a slight speed boost, so it's kind of good. And that's all for A tier, and on to S tier. So we're finally on S tier. The first S tier is Tomru All for One. It's like Decay, but better in every single way. It has an attack like that stuns thing and pushes them away, and all its fangs appear instantly. Like I could be standing here, then every fang all the way over there to where my mouth is would instantly take damage, and it damages over time. Also, the skill that knocks fangs back also weakens them temporarily. And it even has a super fast healing fang, and if you use its F skill, it damages every fang near you. So, yeah. Also has a fang that puts a fang all the way around you in a large range and damages everything. Also has a fang that has you fly around in wherever you're looking, and it does high damage to fangs, and it's really good for PvP. It's one of the best PvP quirks, but not the best. And then the next one in S tier, Regen. Regen is better than Shock Absorption in every way, but only at max level. Because at max level, with it, and good event weapons, you're pretty much unkillable, and you physically can't die with it. So yeah, you're pretty much immortal with it. Also has a skill that, its basic, automatic, F-flip. It increases your normal regen, like your natural regen, by a lot. And then its C skill here, it increases your natural regen by like 5 times more, where you could get from 1 health to full health in 5 seconds. And then its V skill fully restores your health to max instantaneously. Also, its Z skill pretty much gives you lifesteal, so if you press E on a player, it heals you some. Also, you could heal other players with X. It's very overpowered. And now, onto the last quirk of the list. Half Hot, Half Cold. It's the best PvP quirk in the game. Its only downside is it's hard to use. Everything else is just positive things. It has fire. It also has the most attacks in the game. Because it has fire attacks, ice attacks, fire, ice attacks. And yeah, you could switch which movesets you want to use by pressing F. So yeah, it's very overpowered. The main reason it's best for PvP is you could just, as soon as you spawn in, you freeze them, and then you use combos in specific ways. Once you actually know how to do the combos, it's pretty much it's literally the best PvP quirk in the game. So yeah, that was the tier list. So this is the end of the video, and the video was the tier list of every single quirk, from D tier to S tier. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and if you hit the bell button, it notifies you whenever a new video comes out. Also, you don't have to hit the like button, I don't really care about getting likes. But if you do comment, I will read it and reply. Because I love reading comments on my videos for some reason. Because why wouldn't I? So, goodbye.